God's message today begins with this: don't scroll. Don't skip. Don't move too quickly. Because what you are about to hear may be the most important word your spirit receives this entire season. And if you can be still just for these next few moments, you will understand that this video didn't find you by accident. Sent it. I orchestrated this moment because I am blessing you today. Yes, you. The one who's been trying to hold everything together in silence. The one who has been strong for everyone but has been quietly breaking inside. The one who says I'm fine but really wonders if I've forgotten you. And I have come today with a message from heaven itself. No, I have not forgotten. I have not abandoned. I have not ignored your prayers or passed by your pain. I have been watching, collecting your tears, storing your faith, and preparing a miracle that is not just enough, but more than enough. And I declare now, by my name and my authority, am blessing you today, not because you earned it, not because you were perfect, but because I love you. Because I made a covenant with you, because I see your future. And I want you to know this blessing is not small, it's not temporary, it's not something fragile that will disappear when life gets hard. Again, no, this blessing is solid, it's supernatural, it's secured in my word. And right now, I'm opening the windows of heaven to pour out what you didn't even know you needed. And I speak over your heart: peace, restoration, renewal, strength, divine strategy, emotional healing, mental clarity, and doors that make no human sense but have been prepared just for you. And yes, there are those who counted you out, who overlooked you, who laughed when you kept believing. But I will prepare a table for you in their presence, and your cup will overflow, out of revenge, but out of revelation. Because I want the world to know that I am the God who sees what is done in secret and rewards openly. And I say again, I'm blessing you today, not tomorrow, not next week, not just someday far away. I'm releasing it even now through this message, through this word, through this voice that is carrying my breath to you in real time. And if you can hold on and receive, if you can believe again, even after the delay, the heartbreak, the closed doors, then you will see what I promised you long ago. Yes, that dream that refused to die even when you tried to bury it in disappointment. That purpose that kept whispering your name even when you walked away from it. That vision that kept visiting you in quiet moments when everyone else had gone to sleep. Those weren't fantasies. They were seeds, and I have been watering them in the background of your life. And now the season is shifting, and the soil is ready, and the sky is heavy with rain. This is harvest time, and my child, I am blessing you, not just for survival, but for overflow, not just for breakthrough, but for legacy. Not just for your needs, but for your calling. Because I want you to rise, to walk into rooms prepared by my favor, to speak with authority rooted in grace, and to carry the light of heaven into dark places that only your testimony can reach. And so I say again, watch what I do next, but don't just watch. Believe it, declare it, claim it, write it down, pray it forward. Because today is a marked day, a divine intersection, and I don't need you to be perfect. I need you to be present, to say yes again, to lift your head again, to expect again. Because miracles respond to faith, and faith grows through hearing. And right now your spirit is hearing me, your soul is stirring, and the shift is already happening inside of you. So let it come. Don't resist it. Don't reason it. O wages, receive. For I am God, and I do not lie. And when I say I'm blessing you today, I mean it. And no weapon formed against it shall prosper. No delay shall hold it back. No doubt shall cancel it. Because what I've spoken over you is sealed. What I've planned for you is protected. And what I've promised to you is in motion even as you listen, and I say walk boldly now. Don't shrink, don't question if you're worthy of it, because I have made you worthy through the blood of my Son. I have clothed you in righteousness, and I have marked you for impact, for increase, for intimacy with me. And this blessing is not just for your bank account or your body, it's for your spirit, it's for your home, it's for your future generations. And I am blessing you today, because you dared to keep trusting me in the silence, because you didn't give up when the night was long, because you worshipped with tears in your eyes, because you stayed when others walked away. And now I'm rewarding what only I saw. I'm releasing what only I could prepare. And I say once more, I'm blessing you today, so don't scroll past it, don't doubt it. Don't ignore the tug in your heart right now, because this is me calling you deeper. This is me reminding you that I am still the God of miracles, still the Father who answers prayers, still the shepherd who finds the one lost sheep. And yes, my child, this is your moment, this is your miracle. My beloved, and whatever you do, don't exit this moment. Don't let the noise of the world pull you away from the word I've carved into this very hour. Because what I'm about to speak into your life is not just comfort, it's confirmation. Not just hope, but heavenly decree. And I declare to you again with no hesitation, I am blessing you today and this time. I want you to hear what your soul has waited years to believe. Nothing can stop it. Not the delays, not the detours, not the people who walked away, not the prayers you thought I didn't hear. Not even your past mistakes, for I have already set it in motion. I have already signed it in heaven. And the enemy is too late. The attacks are too weak. The voices of doubt are too small to override what I've written about you before you ever took your first breath. And yes, you've been through a battle. Yes, you've cried alone. Yes, there have been days when you wondered if you were cursed instead of called. But I'm here to break that lie once and for all. I'm here to tell you, as your Father, your defender, your promise keeper, nothing formed against you shall prosper. And what I've spoken will come to pass, and what I've planted will bloom. And what I've broken in you was only to build something greater through you. And now the season is shifting again, not just into open doors, but into unexplainable access, into uncommon favor, into blessings that overflow into every dry place of your life, into relationships you didn't expect to heal, into finances you thought were too far gone, into mental clarity that shocks even your past self. Because what I'm doing now is not just restoring, it's redefining. It's lifting you out of every limited identity that pain tried to give you and calling you by the name I gave you: blessed, chosen, covered, surrounded, victorious. And as you hear my words, I want you to feel my presence, because I'm not far from you. I'm not on the other side of your problem. I am here, beside you, speaking directly into your doubts and saying, my child, you are more than the fear you've lived with, more than the silence you've endured, more than the failure you've carried. And now I'm blessing you with peace that passes understanding, with breakthroughs that silence your questions, with opportunities that make up for every door that slammed in your face. And I don't need you to hustle for it, to earn it, to fake joy or pretend to be strong way. Just need your yes again, your belief again, your willingness to hope again. Even if it's a trembling yes, even if it's a broken hallelujah. Because my blessing doesn't wait for your perfection. It responds to your surrender. And right now, your surrender is louder than the voice of your shame, and I receive it with joy, and I respond by opening doors no man can shut, by sending help in ways you never imagined, by aligning the right people, the right timing, the right places. And yes, even your pain is part of the puzzle, have not wasted a single tear, not one night of anguish, not one silent prayer whispered from under your breath. I collected them all. And now I pour them back as answered promises, as divine favor. And I say again, nothing can stop what I'm releasing over your life. Not the opinions of others, not what you lack in the natural, not the timeline you thought you missed, because I operate in eternal time, and I restore what man calls impossible. I redeem what seems too broken, and I bless not according to your status, but according to your surrender. And I'm telling you, there's still time, there's still a future. There's still a miracle on the other side of this moment. And if you'll keep listening, keep trusting, keep opening your heart, I will show you the kind of blessing that not only changes your life, but touches everyone connected to you. And I'm not doing it quietly, I'm doing it undeniably. So undeniable that even those who doubted you will have to admit the hand of God is on their life. And no, you're not dreaming. You're not imagining this tug in your spirit. It's me, confirming what you already felt rising in your chest. I am here, I am moving, I am blessing, and nothing, not even the silence of yesterday, can stop what I have already decreed for you today. And when I say I'm blessing you, I mean in ways that go beyond logic, beyond your environment, beyond your history, and into the deepest parts of who you are. And so I say once more, do not give up. Don't minimize this moment. Don't scroll away from what your soul has been desperate to hear. Because this message is heaven sent. And if you'll let it settle, if you'll let me in, I will begin to do, in minutes, what you've been waiting on for years. I will begin to stir the waters, to release the provision, to answer the long-hidden questions with divine wisdom. And I will do it not because you begged me enough, but because I love you enough. I've watched you carry the weight of what you lost and pretend you were fine. I've seen how you've built walls to protect yourself from being disappointed again. And I know what it cost you to keep moving forward when your heart was shattered. But today, I am coming with holy fire and gentle mercy to say this: I'm blessing you today. And more than that, I'm restoring what you lost, not in part, not in pieces, not as some shallow replacement, but in full, and even more than you imagined, because I am the God of restoration, not of reduction. And I have counted every tear, measured every wound, and preserved every promise. And I will not allow your pain to be wasted. I will not allow your sacrifice to be forgotten. I will not leave the story unfinished. And yes, it may have looked like the enemy won in that last chapter, but I am the author, not him, and I am writing redemption into every broken line, beauty into every ash-covered place, and victory into every space the enemy once claimed. And I say this now, with power you will recover all, just as David did at Ziklag 1 Samuel 38. And not only will you recover, but you will rise with greater authority, greater wisdom, greater peace, because the restoration I'm bringing isn't just external, it's internal, emotional, spiritual, generational. And I want you to understand this. The reason the battle was so intense was not because you were weak, but because you were carrying something valuable, something the enemy feared, something heaven protected. And now that the testing has proven your endurance, I'm moving swiftly to bring justice, to reverse losses, to repair relationships, to restore your health, your peace, your identity, and even the time you thought was wasted, because I am the Redeemer of time, Joel 2:25, and I can do in one moment what years of struggle couldn't fix. And I'm saying to you now, my child, let go of the idea that it's too late. Let go of the fear that you've missed your window, because your blessing isn't on man's timeline, it's on mine, and my timeline is perfect. and my blessing is already on the way. And I know there are things you've buried, dreams you stopped mentioning, hopes you locked away in silence. But I am breathing on those again. I am bringing life to dead places. And this isn't revival that lasts a day. This is restoration that builds a legacy. And I am restoring your laughter, your vision, your energy, your confidence, your spiritual clarity, and you will walk again in purpose, in fullness, in freedom. And the best part, it won't come with sorrow, because the blessing of the Lord makes rich and adds no pain with it. Proverbs 10:22. And I want you to imagine what it will feel like to walk into a season where the doors stay open, where the blessings stay steady, where your peace isn't interrupted every time you take a step forward. And that season is here. Not coming, not approaching, it's here. And this message is your confirmation. This word is the evidence. And I urge you, let it soak in, listen. Again and again, because what I'm restoring can't be explained by logic. It can only be experienced through faith. And I want you to know your prayers have not been in vain. Your giving has not been ignored. Your tears have not gone unnoticed. And I am answering in waves. I am blessing in waves. I am shifting the very atmosphere around your life, and you will look back at this season and say, this is where God turned it all around. And when I restore, I don't just give back what was lost, I give more. I give better, I give deeper, because I specialize in resurrection, in restoration, in doing the impossible for those who trust me. And I'm restoring even your ability to believe again, to expect again, to dream without fear, to love without caution. And I say this boldly, I'm not done with you. I never was. I never walked away. I never counseled your purpose. And now that the pressure has forged your faith, I'm rewarding you in full. So lift your head, my child, and don't miss this word I've written specifically for the part of your soul that still aches. Because I am blessing you today, and the blessing I'm pouring over you in this moment is not just provision, not just opportunity, but healing. Holy, complete healing. The kind that reaches into the memories you've hidden, the wounds you've ignored, the fears you've tried to silence. And I need you to stay with me now, because I've watched you carry pain in private, wear a smile while bleeding inside, help others while barely holding yourself together. And I say to you now, enough, it's your turn, it's your moment. This is your hour to receive what you've postponed for too long. And I don't just want to heal your surface, I want to heal your spirit, your patterns, your identity, your emotions, your very breathing. Because I'm not the kind of God who patches things up. Make all things new. Revelation 21:5. And I'm whispering to your soul, even now, you don't have to live like this anymore. Because I saw the trauma, I witnessed the betrayal. I heard the words spoken over you that cut deeper than any knife. And I've come to reverse every curse, to bind every open wound, to restore every broken place. And I speak directly to the places others don't see, the panic behind your calm, the anxiety beneath your laughter, the tension behind your rest. And I say, be healed. Not next week, not in theory, but today, now, in this holy moment where my presence surrounds you. And yes, I see the doctor's reports. I know the fatigue. I understand the sleepless nights. And I am the God who heals all your diseases. Psalms 103, 2 sampai 3. And I've already sent healing into your bloodstream, into your organs, into your nerves, into the parts of your body even medical scans didn't catch. Because I knit you together. In your mother's womb, I know every fiber of your being, and there is nothing beyond my reach. Nothing too advanced, nothing too deep. And I speak healing, not just to the sickness, but to the fear behind it, to the shame that made you believe it was your fault, to the discouragement that made you give up on ever feeling whole again. And I declare over you, rise, rise in strength, rise in hope, rise in clarity, rise into who you were created to be before life dimmed your fire. And I'm blessing you today with the kind of healing that lingers, that transforms, that touches your children, your home, your atmosphere, your sleep, your thoughts, your prayers, your breath. And I say this because I love you too much to let you walk around half alive, functioning but not flourishing, surviving but not soaring. And I say no more to the cycles, no more to the pretending, no more to the quiet torment, because you've lived long enough like you were disqualified, like you had to settle for partial joy. But I came to give you life, and life more abundantly, John 10:10. And I am not a God of halfway. What I start, I finish. What I promise, I fulfill, and I promised to heal you. So even if it's been slow, even if the process confused you, even if the answer hasn't come the way you expected, I am still the God who heals. And I am blessing you today with the fullness of restoration. Healing from anxiety, from heartbreak, from disappointment, from childhood wounds, from spiritual exhaustion, from burnout, from loss, from grief, from insecurity, from addiction, from fear, from everything that told you you weren't enough. And I say over you, like I said to the woman with the issue of blood, daughter, your faith has made you well, Luke 8:48. And yes, your faith still works. Your faith still moves me. Your whisper is still heard. Your tears are still sacred. And I will honor the way you held on when everything told you to give up. I will reward the way you kept trusting me when healing seemed far. And now I'm saying, your season of silent suffering is ending. Your days of hiding your pain are over, because I am coming to sit with you in the dark and speak life, to wrap you in love, to cleanse the wounds others caused, to anoint you with fresh oil. And you won't walk out of this encounter the same. You won't replay the pain in your head like a movie anymore, because I am replacing those images with vision, with purpose, with healing so deep you won't recognize the version of yourself that was always hurting, always waiting, always surviving. And I say this one last time today, I'm blessing you with healing. The kind that leaves no scar, the kind that proves I was always working behind the scenes, always mending what man could never fix. This is a divine appointment, a sacred download from heaven, and you need to hear it with your spirit wide open, because I am blessing you today with something specific, something life-changing, the miracle of provision, the very thing you've been praying for quietly, worrying about secretly, hoping for cautiously. And I say this now because I've seen how you've made do with little, how you've stretched when it didn't make sense, how you've tithed when it felt impossible, how you've been generous even while lacking. And I want you to know, your obedience has not been overlooked, your faith has not been ignored, and your generosity has not been wasted. I have stored it, multiplied it, and now I'm releasing provision that will not only meet your needs, but exceed them. Provision that answers the prayer you never voiced. Provision that cancels cycles of lack and fear. And I speak this over you now. You will not live in scarcity. You will not repeat the patterns of barely getting by. Because I am the God who provides, and I am not limited by economy, by markets, by reports, by trends, by connections. I own the cattle on 1,000 hills, Psalm 50, bending 10. I split seas, I rain manna from heaven, I multiply what's placed in my hands, and I am about to multiply what's in yours. So bring your 5 loaves and 2 fish. Bring your small, your worn out, your this isn't enough, and watch me bless it, break it, and make it more than enough. And I know the nights you stared at the ceiling, wondering how you'll make it. I know the anxiety that creeps in when bills are due. I know the way you've smiled while silently hoping someone would offer help. But I am not someone, I am the one, and I am stepping in, not late, not limited, but loaded with blessings you didn't even know to ask for. Because I give, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Luke 6:38. And my child, I'm not just sending resources, sending revelation, sending strategy, sending divine connections, sending open doors, sending cancellation of debts, sending unexpected checks, sending business ideas, sending supernatural wisdom to multiply what you already have. And I say again, you will lack nothing. And I don't just want you to survive, I want you to bless others, to sow into others, to build what I called you to build without financial fear, to walk into rooms where provision chases you instead of you chasing it. And I'm reversing the cycle where you feel like you're always behind, always catching up, always second-guessing whether you can afford to obey me. And I say this with authority, you will be the lender and not the borrower. Deuteronomy 28:12. And I will supply all your needs according to my riches in glory. Philippians 4:19. And your table will never be empty again, not just your physical table, but your emotional table, your spiritual table, your relational table. And I am blessing your cupboards, your pockets, your vision, your hands, your home, your seed, and your sleep. And I want you to let that sink in. I am blessing your sleep. Because no more restless tossing about finances, no more waking up to panic, no more fearing what's coming, because what's coming is provision, is peace, is plenty. And I'm not saying you won't work, I'm saying I'm about to make your work fruitful, your ideas profitable, your efforts multiplied, and your partnerships divine. Because when I provide, I also protect, and when I give without regret, and when I bless with purpose. And this isn't just about money, it's about capacity, it's about freedom. It's about walking in your purpose without worrying about how it will be funded. And I know what you've endured to get here. I know how many times you almost gave up because the pressure was too much. But you held on, you stayed faithful. And now I'm about to do what only I can: make water flow from rocks, make oil last when it should have run dry, make favor find you in places where you were once forgotten. And I want you to get ready, not with fear but with faith. Because when my provision shows up, it shifts everything. It changes how you see yourself, how you walk, how you give, how you plan, how you pray, how you serve. And I'm bringing that kind of shift now. And this message is your proof. This moment is your mark. And I urge you, don't just hear it, claim it, declare it, speak it into your atmosphere. Because your mouth has power, and what you declare in faith, I move in heaven. And yes, I know it's been hard, but the hard was never the final word. Harvest is, and I'm saying clearly and boldly now, I'm blessing you today. And the blessing is provision, and the provision is complete, and nothing can delay what I've already dispatched. And so I say to you, my child, rest now, trust now, so now, speak now, breathe, listen, because this is the final word in a journey I have walked with you over these days. And this final part carries something deep, something holy, something eternal, and I don't want you to miss it, not a word, not a moment, because I am blessing you today, and this time the blessing is generational. This is not just for your hands, but for the hands that come after you, not just for your life, but for the lives that will walk in your footsteps. And I need you to hear me clearly, because I've seen how hard you've fought to break cycles, how many nights you cried so your children wouldn't have to, how you forgave what broke you so the bitterness wouldn't pass down. And I say this, now with joy in my voice you've shifted the bloodline, and I'm sealing it with a blessing that covers not only you, but your house, your lineage, your legacy, and I speak it with authority. No weapon formed against your family shall prosper. Isaiah 54 banding 17. And every generational curse that tried to follow you is now broken, not by effort, but by my spirit, not by fear, but by faith, and I'm raising up new patterns, holy patterns, righteous inheritance, and where there was trauma, there will be testimony. Where there was addiction, there will be anointing. Where there was poverty, there will be provision. Where there was silence, there will be sound songs of joy, of worship, of prophetic purpose. And I declare that the blessing on your life will run over like oil and anoint your children, your children's children, your blood relatives, your spiritual family, and every person assigned to your destiny. And I want you to receive this as a promise, not a maybe. I will establish your household. I will bless your home. I will cover your roof, your relationships, your peace, and I will be the God of your family tree, the keeper of your covenant, and I will walk through the halls of your house and cast out fear, cast out division, cast out anxiety, and I will sit at your table and fill it with laughter again, with prayer again, with purpose again. And even if your family looks broken, now watch what I rebuild. Even if your marriage feels cold, now watch what I reignite. Even if your children feel far, watch what I restore, because I am not done with your household, and I am not done with you. And I am saying now, as your father, I am blessing your bloodline. I am blessing the wombs that will carry future generations. I am blessing the seeds you've planted in prayer, in pain, in worship, and even in silence. And I will answer you as I answered Hannah, 1 Samuel 1. As I remembered Sarah, as I multiplied Abraham's seed as the stars in the sky and the sand of the sea. And I say to you, you will not raise your children in fear. You will not build your legacy on struggle. You will not hand down worry, you will hand down wisdom. You will pass down favor. You will speak blessing over their names and see my hand on their lives. And I don't care what your earthly bloodline said about you. My blood speaks better things, Hebrews 12:24. And through me, everything begins again. The story is rewritten, the cycles end, the grace increases. And I say now, with fire in my spirit and tenderness in my voice, your family is covered. Your future is sealed. Your home is mine, and I will send angels to guard it. I will walk with your children in their schools. I will sit beside them when no one else understands them. I will awaken their gifts early. I will use their voices to shake nations, and I will raise them to know me, love me, honor me, because the blessing on your life has ignited a legacy of light. And this is not just about blessing your finances or healing your heart. This is about preparing a people, a generation, a new spiritual lineage that carries freedom, not fear, hope, not heaviness, and vision, not just survival. And I speak this now. Your bloodline is shifting under heaven's authority. And the same way I kept my covenant with David, with Joseph, with Esther, with Mary, with Timothy's grandmother and mother, I will keep it with you, and I will bless those connected to you through spiritual DNA, through faith, through intercession, through obedience. And I say this again, the blessing is not ending with you. And for every generational burden you've broken, I release double generational blessing in return, and I call forth healers, builders, prophets, intercessors, entrepreneurs, and worshippers from your line. And I say, rise, legacy bearer, rise, first in the family to believe like this. Rise, cycle breaker, rise, mother who fought to change the story, rise, father who prayed in silence. Rise, leader who didn't give up when no one followed. Rise, intercessor who stood in the gap. Because I am answering now with joy, with justice, and with blessing so big it will outlive you and light the way for generations to come. And I bless your house with my name, with my presence, with my peace, and I promise you, your children will know me, your grandchildren will walk in my favor, and the legacy you leave will not be pen, it will be power. And it begins today, because I'm blessing you today, and I will never stop.